All right, so let's look at number 6. We're going to determine the value of x using the diagram shown below. So remember, this entire part here is your triangle, and this altogether equals to 180 degrees for a triangle. So we're only trying to find x. So we're going to take 45 plus 85 plus x minus 15 equals to 180 degrees. So let's do the math. So 45 plus 85 is 130 minus 15 x plus 15. So then just setting up the equation. So now this is the only variable on this side. So I want to do the opposite of 115 and move it to the 180. 0 pairs, bring down x, 180, 115, 65 degrees. So now I'm going to take this, and I can change 65 minus the 15, and it'll give me the degrees. But all your test wanted to know is that x is going to equal to the 65. That's the part that they wanted to know. All right, so number 7, you're trying to find the following that are true. Well, we don't know how many are true. It says a particular soccer field is 45 meters by 90 meters. We just want to know what would relate to our answer, even if we set up the problem with trying to figure it out. So let's just say we set it up. A, B, C is missing. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Say I plug it in. 90 squared, 45 squared, 90 times 90 is 8,100. And then 45 times 45, 20, 25, 20, 25. So then, make my 2 not so big for square. So we're going to add those up. Let's see, we get 8,100 plus 20, 25. They give us 101, 25. I'm going to square root it. So if I put 10125, I'm going to get C is going to equal to 100.6. So whether this, I got 100.623. So let's see what would be true. The distance from the bottom, which is here, left corner to the top, bottom to the top, right corner is 135. That would not be true. So the next one says the distance from the bottom left corner, which would also here to the top right corner is about 100 meters. I got 100.6. Top to bottom, because you're looking at that hypotenuse, so that's a possibility, B. Then C says, walking the width, then the length of the soccer field to get from the bottom left. So walk to get to the bottom left. So if you, whichever direction you go, because you see the diagonal, the right corner is the same distance as walking through the middle of the field. Absolutely not. That gives me no information, so that's definitely out. The next one says walking the width, which would be here. Both of these are your width of the soccer field to get from the bottom. Left corner is about 35 meters long. And 35 meters longer than walking through the middle of the field. So 35 meters longer than going this way instead of going completely the longer route. You got a shorter route. So then that could basically possibly be your answer, because we have 90 meters versus the 45 meters. So basically doing this helped me to find the distance from the bottom, which was 100, but then this works too, because you have a shorter distance, and the shorter distance is 35 meters longer than walking. So that means that's an added on. So your answer was actually B and D. So that makes a lot of sense. So basically you're just looking at adding 45 plus 90, which gives you 135. And when you subtract, I'm just going to subtract 100, which is my hypotenuse, to see if it is a shorter distance. And yeah, so that makes it longer. So then this is why this answer will be correct. Okay, guys, so I've already set up 8. You know, for 8, I like to use x1, y1, x2, y2. They just want you to graph a linear function that passes through the points. So I always like using the formula. Y2 minus y1, this is m, all over x2 minus x1. I'm just going to plug in y2 is negative 3 over 4. Negative 3 over 4. And then, let me make it just a little bigger. And then we are going to, y1 is minus a negative 1 over 4. And so x2 is 1 minus x1 is a negative 1. So now, put this in the calculator. Remember when I tell you guys, you can make this a plus, make this a plus. That was one of the little tricks you can do. So when I put this in the calculator, negative 3/4 minus a negative 1/4 or plus 1/4 is going to give you a negative 0.5. And then my light went out. So 1 plus 1 gives you 2. So when I put this in the calculator, a negative 0.5 divided by 2, it's going to give you a negative 0.25, which is also like a quarter. So that will be a negative 1/4. So the only one that had a slope of 1/4, which was negative, I can get rid of this is slope, 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 and slope. So I can get rid of -1/2. I can get rid of 1/2 and a positive 1/4 x. The only one that it could have been was C. I'm working this out. That's all you had to do. Going back and looking at your cheats that you had previous to this. All right. Okay, so this one, using triangles shown to complete the sentence below. So here we go. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. We're going to look at, I assume, maybe this is orange. So then if we're looking at A for orange, so I'm going to use this as A and B, and this is C. So I'm going to set it up. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 8 squared, 6 squared, and 10 squared. Now, remember I showed you guys how to do the little trick. But I'm going to set it up. I showed you how to do the little trick in the calculator. But 8 times 8 is 64, 36, and so then we're trying to figure out if this is a right triangle or not. So I'm going to take 64 plus 36 and 100. So now you're going to look at this one. And before we circle the answer, if it's a right or not. So then this one is, it's the blue triangle for this one. C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we're just going to plug in 4 squared plus 9 squared equals 12 squared, 16, 81, and 144. So 16 plus 81 is 97. 144. Clearly we see, what do you notice? Even if you square it, like if you square this, you know it's a right triangle. But here, it is not a right triangle. So A was a right triangle, but B was not. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at point M. It's located at 4, 6, X and Y. So we're going to go 4 and up a positive 6. And that's your original. And then we're going to look at the next one. It says point M is translated 8 units to the left and 9 units down. So 8 units left. And then we're going to go 9 units down. So you know XY, what is going to equal XY goes into X minus 8 and Y is 9. So we're going to move eight units left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to come down 9 units.